Okay, so what are we going to do tonight? Okay, tonight what we're going to do is, if you're a member of our Fit Nice Club, and I think I've done it in So Creative Club before, was the invisible patch pocket, and that is for garment sewing. You could probably use it on tote bags and things, but it's a way to sew a patch pocket on with no top stitching so that none of the stitching shows. It's really kind of an interesting technique. So, okay, so what you need to do is, first of all, you want to pick a fabric that is rather forgiving, like I like using wool or knits. They will have a little bit of stretch to it. This technique doesn't work really well with a really stiff cotton, really stiff type fabric, because it just doesn't have any give. This is what a normal pattern looks like. That it'll show that it's a pocket. It shows the dotted line where your seam line is, and this is where you would cut it, and a fold for the top of the pocket. So this is pretty much what a pocket would look like. Now, commercial patterns always use a 5/8 inch seam. Well, that's just too big to get this to go in easily when you're sewing it. So what you're going to do is you're going to redraw this thing. So what I usually do is take it to the Xerox machine, and because all I want left is this piece that's in the middle. So you want something that looks like this, which is what the pattern looks like right inside here. Okay, that's what your finished pocket looks like. Then take it to a piece of paper, and I've got instructions. If you didn't get the instructions from the last time I had this at Club or at Fit Nice, this is what the instructions look like. And just shoot me an email at waltzquilt@yahoo.com, and I'll be happy to send this to you. What you're going to do is you are going to cut this down to its regular, just the finished product. Then you're going to take this to a piece of paper, and you're going to create a master. And so you would draw your finished pocket, which I call the B line, for all done. Okay. From that line, you are going to draw. I want to use a 1/4 inch seam, so I want to draw a line 1/4. This is my original pattern. I want to draw a line 1/4 inch outside of it. And I would extend that out to however big of a hem you want at the top, because this is normally your fold line. I'm going to draw another line 1/4 inside of that finished pocket and go to the outside like that, or it's just to the inside. This is going to be our marking line on the garment. This A is our cutting line, C is our marking line. And then you want to draw lines, reference lines across, halfway between the fold and the bottom, so those two, half your center, bottom, and diagonal lines into it. So here's my, and I usually make a few copies of this, because then I'm going to cut out this A line, because this is going to be my pocket. So here's my pocket already cut out, and I am going to take the pins. I'm just going to, where's my trusty chalk marker? Here it is. Here's my fold line. And I'm just going to mark it. Okay. Now this is the front of my pocket. On the back of my pocket, usually what I do is I take those registration lines and I'll transfer that to the back, because then I can put this on the back, because you want to make your markings to your pocket on the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm just gonna one here, here, and there. Oops, forgot one. And the center at the bottom. Okay, so I don't know if you can see those lines. I'll make them darker, really dark. Okay, and I'm going to fold this and turn this iron on. because I'm going to fold. First thing you do when you're constructing the pocket is you're going to complete the top of hem of the pocket. So I'm going to fold this. I'm just going to finger press this, and I'm going to take this to the machine and just top stitch at 1/2 inch. I'll do this off camera, I'm sorry. Okay, all I did was I folded one side under 1/2 inch. I've turned it over and I've just top stitched it there, which is the top of my pocket. And there on the back of my pocket are my lines. Now I'm ready to mark my garment. Now back to our master, this C line, I cut that out. Usually I'm going to cut it on the inside so it ends up looking like this. Okay, this is my C line. So I am going to mark this C line because this is my placement onto my garment, and I'm going to be using this line to match things up. And here's my top and my top. Okay, the other thing I want to transfer are these lines, and I'm going to do them to the inside. These are my reference lines. And I usually use, my favorite is this iron away chalk. So, okay, so now my pocket is marked on my garment where I want it to go. Take these off. Okay, and if you can see those marks, okay? So, we're going to start to sew this. And I've just set it to a regular stitch, and I'm going to, now my top of the pocket is right here. So I made the mark where my top of my pocket is and match up this first line. Okay, I'm going to sew 1/4 inch. So I am going to, it's hard to see, this is the edge of my fabric right here, and I am going to just start to stitch. And I'm going to use white thread so you can see. And I'll probably go up and down a couple times. And I might come back after it's all done and bar tack that top, just so because the top of the pocket is where it wears. Okay, and it's very easy. I'm going 1/4 inch and not a problem. I'm good to go. Okay, I am now going to try to match up this line, and it involves a little bit of stretching. So as you come around the curve, and I had a tweezer here, so I am going to keep putting these right up against this line, and you just keep turning, I'm pulling this way and pushing that way. And see, now those two lines match up. Okay, I'm coming around here, and I'm going to start working a little bit blind. And I'm just following 1/4 inch again right there. Okay, now see, this will start to line up. And sometimes it helps to have these tweezers, because I just pulled a little too much, just to ease it in. That's why it's important to have a fabric that can give, and see, now there's not too much pressure there, but now as we approach this curve, it's going to really start getting blind. Don't worry about what's going on back here. Don't worry about what's behind the door at Oz. See, now these two lines are matching up on the corners. They're not going to keep them straight and parallel. They're going to be sort of shaped like this, but as long as that tip edge is meeting, we're fine. Okay. Okay, and here it goes. We're going to matching up. I need that bendable bright lights too. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that better. so I couldn't see it. It's dark. Okay, and now see, we have this line right here. That's on the right side. Okay, and then we come over here, and I should see my top pretty soon. Again, I'm following. I'm just pulling the garment over, and I'm stretching it up, matching the top. So here's my top of my pocket, and I just come into the home stretch. There, it was curling it. Sometimes this last little bit, I will pull the tweezer to hold it. Back's tack. Cut. Now comes the magic. Let's see if it does it. Ready? Here goes. And oh, I pleated it. Oh, I missed. Oh my goodness. You know what? You know what happens when you miss it? You hand stitch it in. No one will know. Then we're going to take it to the iron. I don't use steam on an iron. I always have trouble with steam irons. They're always a pain in the neck. I prefer to steam by using a wet press cloth, and a flour sack towel works perfectly. So now I'm going to just steam it from the front side, and we will forget the back that I it's in there perfectly. I just have to hand stitch it because I don't know, the stitches skip for some reason. And there, now we got a perfect patch pocket sewn from the inside. You can't see the stitching. This is a couture technique, and where I got this from was from the infamous Regina Vieira, who is my mother, who is a pattern tester for R&K Originals. So she taught this to me a long time ago. She made me do tailoring, and this was part of one of the projects she did. So anyway, that is how you make a patch pocket, from the sewing from the inside, and it looks so professional. Everybody take care. Anyway, until next time, I'm not going to turn the camera around. I'm waving. Bye. I'll see you later. Love you guys. Keep sewing. Keep healthy.